What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and this one I want to talk about Tesla stock and break down what the chart is suggesting. I also want to talk about something very important about this channel. But before I do anything like this, let me just mention a couple of things. I'm firstly not a financial planner, so make sure you take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends very soon, in just about 5 days, so check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. Alright guys, when it comes to Tesla, why did Tesla not get the pump and dump like I was predicting? That's because something big came out that I couldn't have foreseen, and that's some bullish news. But now let's talk about the market. How did the market perform relative to my prediction? I want to break something down that's important. On SPY, I told you guys that we might see this thing pop near the open, especially after the PCE data came out. Then we might see a drop afterwards. And we actually saw this on SPY for the first couple of hours. For most of the day, this did play out. But then we got another bounce near the end of the day with lots of choppy and lots of like crazy price action that had lots and lots of these different fake outs, right? It was very tricky at the very end. SPY was just all over the place, but we did get a pump and dump initially. So was I right about that? For the most part, I was kind of in the middle. So yes, I was right to some degree, but also wrong because it didn't play out exactly like what I predicted. I'm willing to live up to that and tell the truth that I can't always predict the future perfectly. No one could actually be like super accurate all the time, but we could actually look at trends and we could look at charts and like dissect what they're suggesting. For example, like when Tesla was approaching its earnings a couple of weeks ago, I told you Tesla would likely run to about $300, and it actually went up to about 300. And then I told you after earnings, we'd likely see this thing drop, and that also played out. So there are times where you can forecast what's very likely using technical analysis and other tools like that. So TA or technical analysis is not useless. It isn't always everything, and it can't always be perfect because of different pieces of news. Now, on the QQQ, I was also predicting something very similar, a nice pump and dump possibly, and we actually got this pump in the morning to about almost 385. Then we came all the way down to 382, got this nice pump and dump for the first couple of hours, but then for the last 2 hours of the day, it actually started pumping again and turned very sideways, very choppy at the very end. So sometimes things like that could happen as well. Now, I want to just call this out because historically, if you look at Tesla next to the QQQ, which is like right here where my cursor is, the white line right here is Tesla, and the other colored line would be the QQQ. Basically, you could see how similar they tend to run with one another. The QQQ is dictated a lot by tech, and Tesla is going to move very similar to many tech stocks out there. It also does dictate the market. So make sure you guys remember that the market tends to run very similarly. And I think that Tesla would have done something very similar to this, gotten a nice pump, then like a slowdown as time went on before trying to rebound. It would have done this most likely uh, if we had a normal day. But the reason why Tesla outperformed the market and ended up just continuing to pump and hold up quite nicely is because we had some bullish news that came out. The news said that Tesla moved closer to an Indian entry after its very important meeting with an investment agency. That's very bullish news because you have to remember that India could be the place where Tesla produces a $24,000 EV. That's very bullish and that's very awesome. Tesla also maintains lots of buying pressure, lots of aggressive buying at some lower levels, good volume at 110 million, and the price price ratio is still quite elevated, which is showing some relative strength. Now, I want to just mention that because I could not have known that news was coming out, this led to nuances in the prediction, and that made the prediction not as accurate. Now, on top of that, when the morning came out and I talked about this news, I told you all that we're going to be watching support and resistance to see which way Tesla breaks. And I remained very unbiased, and that was actually a better analysis because things change uh, pretty quickly for Tesla. What could you take away from this? Tesla tends to be very impacted by the news, and the current technical trend is looking more bullish on it. It looks like it wants to get very close to 270 now, break above 268. And if it breaks 274, we're going to be watching 280 on Tesla, but technicals alone are not everything. We also have to look at other factors like the news. Now, if you look at Tesla, this thing has been all over the place. Let me just get rid of VWAP. I removed the VWAP from the chart. We have this like nice up day. We had a down day, a sideways day, a down day, and an up day. I mean, the chart is just all over the place, and sometimes it can be very wild. That's the reason why I wanted to bring this up. That's because I do get a lot of criticism when my predictions are not correct. I understand that, and I understand the frustration. But if you're frustrated because you're trying to invest based off what I'm saying, that's not necessarily how you should go about things, in my opinion. Because first off, I'm not giving any financial advice, and if you're ever trying to invest in a stock or like trade, you can't just enter a play spontaneously based off what someone says and then on the internet, and then like automatically assume that you're just going to, make a ton of money off of it, right? That alone is not the way to do it. My analysis is just designed to guide you on the sidelines, provide you with like information about the markets, and then talk about technicals and just education and knowledge. It's not about me giving you any financial advice. Now, if you're trying to trade, you want to look for entries and exits, very, very good opportunities to get in and get out. And I only post a few times a day. I'm not here like 24/7 to like guide over you or like all the time during the market opens. So that's why you have to learn to do this on your own in a way, and you have to learn how to understand technical analysis. My analysis is just here as a guide. And I also want to note that when it comes to predictions, I can't always be correct, right? I'm a human, I make mistakes, and I can't always tell exactly what's going to happen in the news for the next day and the future. All right. So I will make mistakes, but does that mean I'm always wrong? The answer is no. The majority of the time, my predictions are correct. I'll be honest with you, but not always. And that's why you always need to be open minded and always be prepared to watch your technical analysis, watch your levels. And that's why I always stress the importance of looking at levels and reading the price action, excuse me, because price action is going to give you the understanding, the knowledge, and everything you need to know about the charts. All right, so for now, Tesla's pumping nicely. It looks like it wants to test this 268 imbalance up here. If it manages to break above this, we could see a retest of 274, and a break above that could push this thing up to the next imbalance around this 280 area. There's a chance Tesla could be going for 280, but just to be safe, we have to watch for a break above 274 as your confirmation. And if Tesla were to come down, right, you're going to be watching support at this 265 area. If that fails, it's just 262.5, 260, and then 258. And if we end up breaking below 258, we have this unfilled gap all the way down to 256. So could go either way, but it is looking more bullish as of right now. But don't forget the news that comes out on Monday morning will affect this as well. Now we have a big week coming out for next week. I will talk more about that. But I just want to remind everyone, I think it's very important that I go over this, especially for the new subscribers, that I'm not giving any financial advice. You have to learn how to trade or do whatever you want on your own merit, on your own basis, and based off your own knowledge and research. All right. I also want to remind you all that trading is difficult and the market could flip on a dime. I've gotten criticism for saying that, like, oh, last week I was bullish on Tesla and then, like, my entire analysis kind of changes quickly. I completely understand the frustration. I understand exactly what you're thinking. But you have to remember, going back 1 2 weeks, Tesla was pumping, then the next week it was dropping, then it was like, pushing one day, next day it's dropping. It changes very quickly, and I could completely understand why people could feel frustrated with how much I like kind of changed my opinion. But look at the chart, just look at it. It was pumping not too long ago, then it dumped really hard, then it pumped, then it pumped a little bit more, then it dumped very hard on Thursday, and then today got a nice pump to the upside. It's all over the place. It moves very, very crazily. It's just going to continue to move in these drastic manners. And for that reason, I oftentimes may appear like I'm flip flopping, but I'm just simply trying to read the chart, which could change intraday. It could change based off news. It could change very, very fast. That's the main thing that's going on with this channel. I'm overall bullish on Tesla for the long term. I'm super, super bullish. I think it's going to break all time highs soon. And by soon, I mean within like, a year from now, it should be getting close to them within maybe another year or so. But this will depend, and my analysis of saying that could also depend on the timeline, which could be impacted by other factors that we don't know about just yet. So there's so many like unknown variables, such as what's happening to like banks or anything involving like a credit crunch. People talk about that, right? There are other factors that could always change my analysis if we get some kind of bad news. If there's like, for example, like a new virus or something happens, my entire analysis could change. So it depends on the news and other factors like that. But right now, given the current trends and given what we're seeing, I believe there's a good chance we're going to see Tesla perform very well going into next year, going into 2024. I think Tesla's going to absolutely kill it. And I do believe this thing will be making all time highs again, right? I'm not losing faith in the company, but for that reason, I think that the thing that's easy about Tesla is we could all agree that this thing most likely has upside to come, right? The stock price, right? Not saying you should buy or sell. I'm just saying that there's a big agreement that it's going to go up. It's so obvious, right? It's going to go to the 500, 600, $1,000 a share. But what about for the people that want to trade Tesla and look for good entries if they're trying to buy shares? And that's the reason why I made this channel. I want to talk as much about like the intraday price action so that you could understand trading it, understand like the news as well. Oftentimes go about that. And I also talk about big pieces of news affecting the markets. And I'm going to continue to do it. I'm not going to change anything like that anytime soon. And I just want the best for everyone. But please, please, please remember, I wanted to say this for your own benefit. You do not want to be solely trading based off what I say. You want to be looking for your own entries and exits. You want to look at EMAs. And I talk about these levels and talk about these EMAs so that you could maybe add them to your charts. Maybe you could look at them in your analysis as well and use it to make good trades. All right. So I believe that you are capable, whoever's watching this video, you are capable of success in your life. If you work hard, if you believe and you work smart simultaneously, there is a great chance that you can achieve great success in your life. But success is not about trying to find someone who will hold your hand the entire way. It's about learning on your own, learning to better yourself, and then doing what you have to do to surround yourself with the right people. I hope that's clear, and I want the best for all of you. So I will talk more about the market in more details a little bit later, especially on Sunday. But for now, looking at SPY, very strong uptrend. If it continues to break out, we do have resistance at 458. We also have some supports that's very, very close to this 455 area, and below that we have 453. Now the market is continuing to hold up. Uh, there isn't really much of a more bullish or bearish case. Could we be forming like a head and shoulders here? That's a possibility, but we need more data to confirm it. And for now, the chart did look more bullish than bearish for today, but we'll see what happens with the news and data coming out for Monday. Same thing with the QQQ. I mean, if you want to really be like really bullish, you want to see this thing break above 385 and this thing could just keep going. If you want to be bearish, you want to see it break and hold below 380. And so far, it hasn't really done either one of these. If it breaks below 380 and just like fails to hold that, there's going to be 378 and 375. And a really big break below 375 is going to send this thing much lower. So just watch these levels for confirmation. And don't forget, we have some big things going on for Apple, it's still trying to hold up. You're going to be watching 196.5 as our resistance, and then supports around 195.36, 194.57, and then 193.5. Anyways, I think I'm just going to try to keep this video kind of short. I want the best for all of you. I really appreciate everyone, and I'm very happy that you guys continue to give me feedback in the comments. Some people are very happy, they thank me. Other people can say other things. That's fine with me, completely fine. I love to hear your opinions. I love to listen, and I love to improve myself based off what you believe. So feel free to let me know what you think about my content, and I want the best for everyone. I will continue to give you guys more updates, and just remember, you are still very special, and you have so much potential. But that potential is not just about making money. It's not just about following someone else. It's about learning. It's about improving yourself, and I believe you have all the potential to do it. All right. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the weekend that's coming. Tesla the market to the moon as the long term is still incredibly bright. And peace out.